Huh? Yes. Is it not streaming? I'm sitting here eating my cupcake in style. Dagnabbit. Check the Twitch for North Phone. Do you get the audio? Is the music playing? Too late, man. I've already turned it down. You gotta get that intro right then and there. Boom, boom, boom. Did you get it? Did you get it? Oh my gosh. Really? Welcome to Haunted Holler Painting, hosted by Trollord Games. This show is brought to you by Hasbro, the makers of the Delco 9000 self-lubricating. Oh, sorry, wrong product. Um, sorry, guys. All right, seriously though, we're here to paint miniatures tonight, guys, and we're gonna have fun with it and screw around and mess stuff up and break things and not do anything right, because that's what I do. I show you how to paint. Anyway, we will be having a giveaway later tonight. Midway during the painting show to make sure people stay around and get entertained. Right now, you see my dirty paint palette right here, and this will be my paint area for tonight because I don't want to waste these papers because they're not expensive. I'm just lazy, and my comic book's closed for the next 2 weeks because of COVID. There was an outbreak at the local gaming store. Tonight's brush of choice will be the Rosemary & Co. for all my basing needs. I did paint some other miniatures this week. I can't show online because they're not appropriate. But tonight we are going to have fun, and I'm going to figure out what we're doing. So we are painting the Pat Benatar tonight. I mean the Minotaur, but we're going to call it the Pat Benatar. This is an older model. I don't even know who makes this. This is probably a Citadel model from back in the day. No joke. Very plain and simple. We wanted that old school feel tonight and see what we can do with it. Then we also have a Fallout model right here. We're going to paint this as well as we go along. It's just to give me some time for everything else to dry. So we'll go from there and see how it is. Today, if you want to chat with me, we have a chat window. I do have a guy in my ear. Through my Patreon, you can get access to my Discord. And through my Discord, you can actually talk to me live while I do this. So if you want... Huh? Oh, I hear it. Voice. It's not God. It's Bake. It reminds me of the movie Real Genius. You remember when they wired the dude's braces up to hear radio, and they were like, Troy, this is God. Yes, God! Yes! So, it's one of my favorite movies as a kid. So, I always thought having braces, I'd pick up radio signals, and I never did. Let me move my keyboard out of the way. Yes, and I am eating a cupcake. My birthday is in 8 days, and these are not mine. These are my daughter's, because her birthday was 3 days ago. If you wanted to help me celebrate my birthday, I have a Patreon. You can sign up for it. Let's see here. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna base coat our wonderful Centaur, or not Centaur, but our Pat Benatar. And we've got 3 colors of flesh here. We have our. Let me get these right. Don't get them right. Don't get them wrong. Okay. First color that's gonna go down first is tanned flesh. Then we got barbarian flesh, and then we got elven flesh. Tonight we are using the army painter range. So first thing we need to do is put some paint on Mr. Pat Benatar. So so it doesn't take all night, we have to use a big fat brush. We are going to be using this size 6 round. This is called the Fine Touch. This is a cheap brush that you can get at Hobby Lobby. Let's see here. Support your local Hobby Lobby. Just kidding. Wherever you can get painting supplies, get them. As long as you support local companies. Hobby Lobby, and here's my theory on this stuff. If local people work at the company, are you not supporting local people when you shop there? It's the thought of the night. That's some deep thoughts by Jack Handy right there. For you guys old enough to remember who Jack Handy is. Okay. So all we're doing right now is base coating this guy. I would normally airbrush this down. Problem is don't really have a place to airbrush on screen. So this is how we'll do it tonight. So let's get this base color down though. So I really wanted to go kind of old schoolish with this, not too fancy of colors per se. I've been watching a lot of painters online find like old Citadel paint kits, like learn to paint kits from Citadel from back in the day. And it's just got me to get that level of nostalgia. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So that's why, I chose this older miniature to paint tonight. Because it is of the style of the older miniatures that we would have had to paint back in the day. Let's see here, get them creamy layers down. You gotta take 2 thin coats, guys. Yeah, and I'm a little hyped up on sugar right now. So I'm gonna be talking a mile a minute, and by sugar I do not mean cocaine. Just kidding. See, this is when our benefactor, the trolls, come in here and be like, what is he talking about? What? Daniel, this is a family show. It is. So, news. Has anybody been paying attention to the gaming news? Hello, Teledare. It is me. Do I know Teledare in real life? Okay. Now, I didn't really do the mold lines on this one very well because being going old school, I wanted to make it feel like I was a 16-year-old kid trying to paint this. So, anyway, that's the first coat right there. We're going to let that dry. So, gaming news this week on the 10th of this month. Was it the 10th? Troll Lords turned 20. What do y'all think about that? And they're still on the original edition. I mean, they've had reprints and they've changed a couple of things for errata and stuff, but like they've not had to overhaul the system entirely. What do y'all think about that? How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel dirty? Okay. I hate clogs. Clogs. Warm and fuzzy. Ugh, that's a booger if I ever saw one. But no, is in honor of them turning 20. Troll Lords has so graciously decided that we can have a giveaway tonight, and they are providing a $30 coupon to their store, which means you could buy PDFs, you could buy a physical book. You might have to cover some shipping on it because I don't know how much $30 will get you in the store. So you can get whatever you want in the store. Pay a little extra. I mean, gosh, $30, $30. That's a lot of money to me. I mean, $30. I mean, that would get you a miniature painted by me on Patreon. And the reason why I am hawking the Patreon tonight, guys, is because I do have a Patreon. This is just to keep me in models and supplies for this show. If you tune in to the Patreon that is going to be provided in the link, there are 3 levels. There's a $3 level which gets you access to the Discord channel, where you can talk to me and during these live streams. And it'll also for the $5 level. Crap! You get to see me stick my finger in paint. For the $5 level, you get access to any hobby hack recipes early, so you can make that along with me when I do a hobby hack. Or and for $30, you can either get an hour of my time a month for me to guide you through painting certain miniatures, or you can send me a miniature and I will paint it for you and send it back. No large vehicles, single minis only, please. And that would be monthly. But that is just to keep me from going bankrupt for providing supplies for this show. And just to let you all know, I do have a chair on the way. No more Squeaky McSqueaker chairs. And one day we'll have enough money to buy a camera. So I'm going to base coat this. What I'm putting this is gunmetal from Army Painter here. Yes, and I will say it just does look like I'm slathering this paint on, because yes, this is the first coat of paint. It will be slathered on. Okay. I'm just warning you guys. The whole point of this show is just to get it to the table. We'll be experimenting with a Army Painter effect tonight that I've not used before. And it's their rust. So we're going to see how that goes. Now this is a Raider from Fallout. If you want to know what this is, it's a resin model. It's from the Modifius's line of models for their tabletop war game. Look at that big glob of paint. That's when everybody's like, ooh, he just globbed that paint on. Any questions? I hate just sitting here in complete and utter silence with no questions. I want to talk and tell you all how to do stuff. We have a face tonight on the model. See right here? Yeah. Let's see if we can get to zoom in a little bit better. There we go. Alright. Yes, I got a little silver on this. That is fine. Oh man, I got the burp faces. Yeah, my daughter has a house full of teenage kids, and one of them is a boy. I'm like, who is this kid? Why are you in my house? Why are you here to swim with my daughter in our pool? Do I need to know about you? His name is Parker. Then I caught his dad chatting my wife up out front. She's like, here is my husband, Daniel. This is Parker's dad. His name is Daniel as well. It's like, are you trying to steal my identity, Parker's dad? Okay, so we got a base coat there on here. Now it is time to give Mr. Minotaur his second coat of flesh. Coat of flesh. Yes, I am annoying. I make noises. I talk really funny. And I am going to take another bite of this delicious cupcake made by the wonderful people of Ingles grocery store, bakery. Chocolate's my favorite flavor of cake. Carrot cake is the next favorite flavor. Alright. Oh my gosh. So this flesh tone I'm putting on here, this flesh color is thin. Partly because the wet palette has watered it down a little bit. But we just got to get it on here. And then we're going to learn some tricks of the trade. Oh, I missed a big spot on his arm. So my theory behind all this is get it on and then tidy it up. for you all that have been tuning into the show, um, you know this. It's been one of my tips and tricks and things of how I do this stuff. He's got a loincloth. Look at that. Look at that little butt crack G string he's got going on there. I mean, I guess Minotaurs can wear clothes. Alright, we're going to let that dry. As we do let that dry, I am going to fill in some other areas on him. The next area that I'm going to fill in is his gloves. His gloves are leather. So we're going to put a little bit of leather brown on those wonderful gloves. And his belt. I want to start with the gloves though. Remember, the key is to keep it simple tonight. We want to get this Minotaur to the table. This is what I would call a tabletop standard as well. Most tabletop standards, if you do miniature painting on commission, it's 3 colors in a wash. Sometimes 4. Depends on the painter. If they can't tell you how many colors they use as their tabletop standard, then it's kind of hit or miss. Because you got to know what you're getting into. And some painters charge considerably more or considerably less than other painters. Now, I will tell you, I heard a good thing today, or actually yesterday, where a painter that I follow was talking about it's good to be mediocre. Because, I play 40k, Warhammer 40,000, and I love war games. And so the thing is, though, that if you're a mediocre painter and you can get all your models painted really quickly and on the table, then that looks better than just having one model painted that's really nice and a bunch of gray primer. So, and to let you know, in 9th edition 40,000, you get 10 extra points at the end of the game if your entire army's painted. That's pretty rotten of them. I know. Yeah. And I remember one time, though, I think it was 4th edition, there was a rumor flying around on 4th edition 40k, was that in order to play in a Games Workshop legal tournament, all your miniatures had to be painted, and they all had to be painted using Citadel paints. And everybody's like, how can you tell if this is a Citadel paint or not? Supposedly it was a tournament rule somewhere, so okay. I'm gonna do this little. I'm gonna do that in white. I don't know, maybe. He's got this little strap around his arm. This tanned flesh here is actually one of my favorite colors to take in prime models in sometimes too with the airbrush. Okay, now we gotta get serious with this next level of paint. So we've got to add another layer on here. Let's let this dry for a minute. Let's see here. You know what's cool is I've got the chat window up in my OBS, so I can actually see who we got. So I want to welcome, let's see here, moderators listed are Trollza, Streamlabs, and Bake Sauce. Bake is who's in my ear right now. I currently have another TV viewer. It's a robot. Then Panhandler and Sunder5041. If you guys are in chat, why don't you just speak up and talk and have questions, and let's talk about the news. Have y'all seen what's going on here in Chernobyl? Really, I don't know. I'm just trying to get conversation going while I eat my cupcake. Yes, I eat on Twitch. I'm gonna start an entire Twitch channel where I sit here and eat nothing but ice cream. Man, I bet you I get more Patreon for that if I was wearing a bikini and I was a 19-year-old girl. Think about that. Now give it some time. Somebody will be doing that on their Twitch stream here in about a month because they heard me say it here. Okay. I really hope this next layer goes in very well. Come on now. Oh! Oh! Mint chocolate chip! Oh! Oh! Somebody's in here! Hello, Drew. How are you? Do you miss me? Just kidding. Come on now. I need some more paint. Here, watch this, guys. I just love ball caps. Oh, crap. I will say this is one of my favorite hats. Let's turn on some more light here. Ah, man, this camera's not in a good angle today. Get a little bit higher for me. Well, come on. There we go. Yeah, get me a ball cap. I prefer this netted stuff. If you want to get me a ball cap. These trucker hats with a curved bill. I hate flat bills, man. Gosh, I hate flat bills with a passion. Alright, let's get this thing in camera. See my... Yeah, gotta move stuff. My desk has become a little messy since Friday's night stream, you know. Had so much going on. That guy over there on the other channel is a slave driver. Oh, he has fitted hats. I don't know how big my head is. I like ball caps, though. I've worn one. Ah, crap. I just got that really on there. Ugh. So, again, we're going old school with this guy. We're going to pretend that we're a 15-year-old kid in 1994, and we just got our first paint set. And we're trying to figure out what to do. You know what model I really want to paint, if I can get my hands on it, is a Slambo. Like the original Slambo. Gosh, if I could ever get this on here, for some reason, I should have just airbrushed this and been done with it. It's still an option. Okay. What color eyes should Pat Benatar have? Tell me in the comments. What color eyes should the Pat Benatar have? So you'll notice that there is some streaky areas here, which is fine. We're going to clean that up here real quick. We're going to let this dry, and then we're getting ready to go on to the next color of paint. Just put that on too thick. It will thin out, though. I just got my Pathfinder 2nd edition book in the mail today. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. that finger had paint on it. Alright, let's go back to the leather brown. Am I coming across fine, guys? Can you hear me? Because sometimes I wonder, you all don't talk back. Oh, snap. I just went there. See? Can't get this right tonight. There we go. There we go. It's Pat Benatar. Okay. Let's clean up my lines here. So, here's the question. Should I cheat? Or should I do it old school? I wish we could do a poll. No, I'm talking about for the highlights. Okay, let's let that dry because we're going to do hair next on him anyway. So we got to let his skin dry a little bit. And actually, we're going to do hair next. I don't know. Alright, so let's go back over here to Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. So she is from Modifius. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. So each of these panels are going to have different colors. So let's grab another shade of silver. So we're going to put this plate metal right there. The plate metal is what is the silver that comes in the starter set for Army Painter War Paints. It's very versatile. It's the same color that I would say is Lead Belcher from Citadel. Just not as thick and actually applies well. I did go there too. So we're going to do a couple of these panels in different colors of silver. And then, it's like some of it's steel, some of it's tin. Picking these out here. I'm not going to do a lot. I'm trying to get all this corrugated stuff right here. Because if you look on the box art, ow, crap. Sorry guys, that was loud. The box art shows her covered in rust with blue hair. I don't know what's up with those eyes. I guess they got a streak across her eyeballs. No, it's like they got their eyes painted. Now I've got this guy done here out of this set. See him right here? Wait a minute. His face is a little bit dirtier. I wanted to go with the really dirty face look on these. Oh, alright. So let's grab a little bit of the... You know what color I did not mix up today? What, Daniel? White. Alright, white. Got that white paint. Alright, here we go. A little bit of that white paint. We're going to do them eyeballs. If you ever want it, freaking clogged up. Right there it is. Somebody's dropping something in my floor upstairs. Come on. That's enough. So, I like the color. I like coloring pencils. And I've mentioned this before. I have the Dungeon Crawl Classics book, and I use it as a coloring book. But I just found out, Crayola just released flesh tone coloring pencils, I think. So I'm super excited. So I'm going to go buy these coloring pencils. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit here. Okay. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. So we're going to paint this face. So the first thing we do is we block in the eyes. Okay. Now, the cool thing about this paintbrush that I've got is it's not expensive. It is a acrylic nightmare that I use to block in colors with. But if you look, we've got what's going on, we call in the professional gaming area the hook. Now, the hook's good for a lot of things. One of the things it's good for is doing pupils. So a little bit of black. Oh, that's not black. Why did I think it was black? A little bit of black. Just a little bit, not a lot. God, my hand itches tonight, guys. Da, 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 da. Okay, got my hook going. So, the first thing we do, I've told y'all before. Now, this face that I'm doing right now is very tiny. Let's look. Let me look at a standard miniature. I got one laying around somewhere. No, I don't. And I don't want to get the one out I painted earlier this week. Let's look at this dwarf I've been working on. His head's a little bit bigger than her head. If you look right there. So, you can see how much smaller her head is. I'm going to do a comparison here. Look at my paintbrush compared to her head. It's a bit bigger. I couldn't think of anything else to do a comparison on. Alright, here we go. Here's the D6. This is from the Rick and Morty D&D set. I just got it yesterday. So you can see how much bigger that is than her head. My birthday is in 8 days, so a friend of mine got me the Rick and Morty set because he knew I wanted the dice out of it. And if you know me and dice, I am addicted to dice. I love dice. I collect all sorts of dice. Well, see, and we just messed up because we're going to make her wall-eyed. Actually, yeah, we ain't going to do that. Let's go back and fix her face. So we're going to clean that up by applying just a little bit more paint on top of it. Where it's not dry all the way, it's going to be gray, which is fine. Okay, let's go. The key is she's looking dead forward or dead straight, and so like you want her eyes to be centered. Come on now. I think that's the best I'm going to be able to do tonight, guys. Let's put a little bit more black over here. And now we've got to let this dry for a minute before we can continue with her face. But while we do that, there's some other aspects of this that we can work on. So we've got this car body here. And then I've been wanting to paint that yellow. But I've been really thinking about it. And I'm thinking this Void Shield blue that we used Friday night. On the model that we painted Friday night. Let me show you that real quick. It turned out pretty good. So this is what we painted Friday night. I think it turned out fairly well. There's still some little areas that I need to go back and deal with. Dice for painting. No, not right now. I like cash for painting. Let's see here. So we're going to go back and paint this car body here. And I know I'm still zoomed in a little bit, but we're just going to come in here. We're going to do a first coat on here. And this is a new primer I'm playing around with. It's a Rust-Oleum plastic primer. So I'm seeing how well it takes paint. Right now, I'm not liking it. So, it's, yes, it's it's the Rust-Oleum 2X. It actually dried, which I was surprised. So, Okay. So. Oh, I love dice, but I also have two house payments at the moment until we get the other one sold. So sometimes you have to compromise. Okay, so we've got him. We're going to now take the next color of flesh, which will be our barbarian flesh. Now, the cheater way to do this is to actually do a wash, and then in the areas where the wash doesn't settle, then, or you can start midways and go dark with the wash and paint over it, but we're not going to do that. So we've kind of got to visualize here about his muscles. Okay, so this is going to take a few minutes, guys. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to pretty much entirely paint over him one more time, but leaving certain areas. If somebody is getting ready to come in here and get something off this printer because they are printing in the middle of our show. It's probably my daughter, and she's probably playing music. Okay. Okay. So let's. Yeah, if anybody wants to buy a house in Kingsport, Tennessee, I got one for sale. The we was under contract, but the guy backed out because of personal issues. But we won't go into that. So if anybody, Troll Lords, wants to move their company, Troll Lords, to East Tennessee, Troll Lords, there's a place to rent that you can live at. Steven Chenault, if you're listening. Steven, I don't think Steven will ever grace our presence. I was supposed to be teaching him how to use a ham radio. Now, we'll still have to use a wash on this, and what the wash is going to end up doing is it's going to take and fill in the we're not fill it in, but it's going to put a kind of like when we talk about glazing in the past, it's going to kind of blend everything in, and we may end up just doing a flesh colored glaze. I hadn't thought about doing something like that, so. Now here on this back, I'm not going to go down into this area here at all because that should technically be shadowed. But the key is you gotta do this like in rounding. You gotta think about the muscles underneath the skin and where the muscles are laid out. Yep, somebody's getting ready to walk in here. It's my lovely wife. Look at that brush. Look how glorious that brush is. Time to switch brushes. Alright, we're going to go with the beater. The rose. Nah, it's time to switch over to this. So. Here. Hey, TR. TR is a friend of mine from Taylor, Indiana. He enjoys bike rides and making jam. And if you look at a lot of publications, you'll notice that almost everything is edited by TR Knight in the gaming sphere. I know he's worked on Tales from the Loop, Pugmire. Gosh, what else have you worked on, TR? Upland, sorry. You work at Taylor. Sorry. I wasn't thinking at the moment. Oh no, we've got to paint nipples tonight, guys. I thought I was out of the nipple game today. Break up the pasties. Well, Pat Benatar will get good nipples. I'll pay special attention to Pat Benatar's nipples. Up there's my daughter.
You missed it. I crawled behind you.
You crawled behind me.
Yeah.
Everybody say happy birthday to Isabel. She turned 15 last Sunday.
Yep.
Okay.
This printer isn't working.
It was working. You printed something a minute ago.
No, this was like an hour ago. Or 4 hours ago. I'll be back.
I know you will. Kids. She's printing off sheet music. See, look, he's now working on Hellboy, the RPG. What we need to do is get you editing for the trolls. Anyway, but yeah, the trolls is officially 20 years old this week. Really, another thing fell off my printer. So I have become the de facto tech support guy for my children here this week because of they're all doing at home schooling. So anytime something's wrong with their Chromebook, Dad, I'm like, you need to open a help ticket. I still have yet to try to figure out how to get those stupid things to print. It's supposed to be able to see the printer on the network. Well, it's not. So what we're doing here is we're again hitting the highlight areas that would be sticking out, leaving the recessed areas the darker flesh color. And what we're doing is using what's called a triad. So we're doing the mid-tone right now. Okay, we're getting the belly because we all know that Minotaurs, even though they're very muscular, they don't have a good diet enough to get abs. They like their bean burritos. Hey, Epi! Whoa, Tim's here! Wow, we got a Tim! This is when we should hit him with the Patreon and the Facebook group stuff. That's me talking to the producer. Come on, get back on there. I feel special. Tim showed up. Oh man, it's almost getting time for the drawing. That's why everybody's here. They want something for free. They don't want to see me paint because I'm never on screen. Yeah, there we go. Like, Daniel, we're not here for Daniel. We're here for the free stuff. Who's this Daniel guy? Epi's like, who is this? You can't win, Tim. You can't win. If I can't win, you can't win. Do, 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 do. Okay. Knees here. Top of the knees. Yeah. Tim's wanting to win. And everybody, remember, if you go for the PDF option, currently, right now, you get the Troll Lords Monsters and Treasure and the Player's Handbook for free in PDF already. So all you have to get is the Castle Keeper's Guide. You can possibly get the PDF for Aired, so you can do that, or Haunted Highlands, or anything like that, or a bunch of modules. Just saying, that $30 can go a long way if you're smart about it. I will be recruiting for my game here probably this week in Fantasy Grounds for Castles and Crusades. Hopefully, I'll be able to run it on Sunday evenings probably every other week. So I'm going to start out with Rising Knight and work my way through the A series. Just to let everybody know. What? What the heck was that? Oh my gosh. That scared the living bejesus out of me. I got another guy in my ear here, people. It's not safe to be in my world at the moment. I got a baboon. No, they can't hear you. That's what it sounds like. I want a $50 coupon to Troll Lords. I want some books. My shelf's getting bare. Okay. Alright. So, now, what we're going to do, guys, as that dries, that layer, we're going to take a little bit of the leather brown, and I'm going to lighten it up. I mean, if y'all can only hear what's going on in my ears right now, it's horrible. Gosh, this guy needs Jesus bad. Alright, so we're going to take the leather brown and we're going to mix it up with some of this tan flesh. We're going to lighten it up some. And we're going to start working on the fingers here. Needs a little bit more. I feel like the Bob Ross of Troll Division. Okay, we're getting ready to start the giveaway, people. Wait, no, we're not. Wait, no, we're not. Sorry. They're telling me that I'm getting all sorts of mixed signals in my ears here. Oh, they just told me to shut up and paint. I see how it is. I see how it is. Tim, we got some complaints. Puts a little bit watery down. Watered down. Hey, Mr. Fisher, are you painting a miniature? Okay. Now, we're painting Pat Benatar. It's not the succubus I painted earlier this week. Huh. I missed a spot. Let's let this dry. I'm gonna fix this real quick. Oh, there it is. All right. Okay, let's let that dry a little bit longer. Then we'll go back to mixing it. Chuck's in here. I can't work on my other miniature. I get mad. I hate. You see what just happened? I just literally knocked it in there. It's not funny at all. Yeah, you should. Alright, this is Phoenix Flames from Army Painter. It's yaller. See? It's yaller. I gotta do a little couple panels here on my Fallout model. So we should create a Fallout RPG using Amazing Adventures right there. You know that's how I'm gonna get by with a lot of models. But like, we need to do this in Amazing Adventures. And and if y'all don't know what Amazing Adventures is, Amazing Adventures is a oh my gosh, the best way to put it is if you ever played Savage Worlds where you have like, or GURPS, like a very generic system, you can literally play any system inside of Amazing Adventures. It's running off the 5th edition rule set, but it's set up to, you know, where you can do a Western, you can do pirates, you can do gumshoes, you know, all that Nor and stuff like that, and you know, whatever you want to run. So, and it's on the store as well if you want to buy it. And no, I'm not trying to sell you all on everything in the whole wide world. This is not a. That's really Epi's never come by before, and I'm going to say it right now, Epi. You've never come by here before, and it's just a dang coupon. I see how it is. I see how it is. I love you, Epi. Calling them out. Hey, yeah, okay. I was about to say, TR, do the raffle again. I'll remind you all, since I can't win, what I would like is some tube maps to hang up in my office, Tim. Just giving you a hard time. I've been giving Tim a hard time about those maps for a while now. Okay, let's see here. Now we're going to add some texture to the belt by doing some streaking, because the belt doesn't really have a lot of texture to it. So this is just another way to make it look a little aged and add that extra texture to it. So we're going to do that on the. This is Pat Benatar. Leave Pat Benatar alone. Yes. Okay. What is my kid printing out? You know, like, well, she plays like 15 instruments. I don't know if she's printing out trumpet music. She's printing out stuff for the bass, the guitar, the piano. So if y'all notice that this elven flesh that I'm getting ready to use is actually a very bright color compared to this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be toning it down some. And this is where we're going to really just hit the main tops of the muscles. So, and we're going to kind of take the shape that we had beforehand, but make the areas a little bit smaller. So, and you want it to be subtle. I could see it, and you should be able to see it a little bit on the camera as well. But the key is it does still need to be subtle. You just don't want them super bright and sticking out because it's not going to look good. Okay, and whoever wins this raffle, it's going to be good to the end of September. And remember, my birthday is August 20th. So, no, get your prize, enjoy it. I'm just giving you all a hard time. You know what we're going to use to wash this with bake is we're going to use the homemade wash. I'm just going to dip it. I'm just going to stick it, dip it right in there. Because he's a monster. Monsters get the homemade wash. Oh, I gotta get that pink out for his nipples. Actually, I might go dark on his nipples. Now, these are real questions I've got to answer myself. Do I really want to do big nipples on this guy? I mean, y'all think it's silly, but, I mean, if you're going to do it right, I mean, do it right, you know? Okay. So let's, on his face here, I'm going to run this around the edge right here. Yeah, paint them pecs. All right, made with pride. Let's see here. All right, so now we're off to his fur, his hairs. We're just gonna paint them their hairs. The color that we are going to use for that, if I could find it, is werewolf fur. From the raffle is now closed. We are getting ready to pick a winner, and then they will get I believe, a private message. And is that how it works, Chuck? You're gonna send out a private message? Oh, okay. What? Norse Foundry? Norse Foundry? Oh my gosh. I demand a recount. Florida needs to get in those chips. We need to know who the winner is. Well, congratulations, Drew. Maybe you'll start playing a real RPG. Nah, I give him a hard time. He plays Pathfinder. He's a good guy. So we're gonna come in here and start doing this fur, and it's gonna be brown. And we're gonna have to go in and do highlights on it a little bit with the dry brush once it gets done. Oh, I'm not. Listen, Drew, I can't Pathfinder hate because this just came in the mail today. Anyway, um, let's see here. Drew, get in the Troll Lords Discord channel and message Baboonsky, Chuck Baboonsky. Or Bake Sauce. Actually, just message Bake Sauce. Or Troll Lord Bake Sauce. Dude. Alright, did you get a message from him, Bake? Bake's being quiet because he's got cottage cheese on his shirt. Okay, so now here's the thing about these older style models. They didn't have a lot of detail to stand out, so you have to actually add a lot of detail in paint. So that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why we are going to be having to dry brush this instead of just washing it. Normally, I would just wash the hair. That's just the way I like doing hair. But because the detail isn't really there for this, then we're going to have to take and add it through that or stippling. Gotta paint that booty. Gonna paint that booty. There we go. Okay, now we gotta do his back hair. Man, he's got less back hair than I do. Thanks, Tim. See you, Chuck. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. This is gonna take a minute to dry. Now we are going to do some really coolness here with the horns. I think I'm going to try to do an old school horn versus a new style horn. And that involves red. Okay. So we're going to let this dry here. I know it looks kind of like you can tell the difference between everything, but it should blend together once we do the wash on top of it. So, color that I need. Good color. I'm going to use pure red from Army Painter. Okay, we're going to get that one blended up and get ready to go. First thing we're going to do is use skeleton bone. Somebody shut the door on me. Because I need to do his teeth as well. Ugh, it's still not mixed up. So, Drew, I want to know what you buy. I'm a little jealous. Now, do y'all think I need a green screen? Or do you think it's just too much? I got a gnat in my ear. He says he's kind of excited to see what he wants. Now, if you are into 5th edition still, Drew, they do have a lot of their modules or settings are now set to 5th edition as well. But if you really want to go all in, go ahead and get the books and learn how to play Castles and Crusade. Just the way Gary Gygax intended it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're adding this skeleton bone here. Now, I've never been able to pull this old school horn off. It's something that they used to use on orcs. So I'm going to attempt to do it. Or actually more on Gretchen than anything. Back in 2nd edition 40k. So we've got to put a layer of this bone on here, which does not go over well at all. Multiple coats, people. Okay, let's see here. Let's get Pat Benatar's teeth done. Okay. There we go, Pat Benatar. Alright. Kind of goofy. Alright. While that dries, let's go ahead and do the wood for his axe. Oh, Chuck leaves the room and it gets quiet. And Chuck causes a ruckus wherever he goes. Now let's see how many people are still in the chat and watching me. Yay! I know I gave Epi a hard time. Sorry, Epi. I was just doing it because Chuck was giving you a hard time in my ear. If you all sign into the Troll Lords chat, Epi is actually the guy on here that likes to teach new players how to play. So he runs a lot of stuff for, Castles and Crusades 101. And he does streams as well where he talks about the rules and things like that. Alright, let's let this dry for a minute. Let's go back over to our lady friend. We're going to have a little bit more blue on this car here. You tell that's the only problem with a wet palette is that the paint starts thinning down really quick. So if you don't work with it. So get that in there. Now her face looks crazy. She looks like something from ICP. Yeah, you know me. Oh. So let's see here. Let's go back and zoom into that face. Let's get her in the middle of the screen here. So, actually, I'm going to need to get out the grandpa glasses. So here's the issue: is these hoses on her make it a little bit more difficult to get to her. Could be one of those decisions I just make to cover her eyes up and just let the shading handle it. Which might be what I'll end up doing, but we'll try not to. Oh my gosh, she looks horrible. Yes, I will admit that. Come on, eyeballs. We can do this. Ah, nope, I messed up. Screw it. That's what happens. You mess up. You just tell yourself you're not going to do it anymore. Okay. We'll just go ahead and get her face painted. We'll let the shading handle it. I don't feel bad about that at all. Do, 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 do. See, normally on a model this detail, though, I would take and at least, like if this is a 40K model, the heads usually have to be glued on afterwards. I would have just taken painted the head separately. Man, somebody is stomping around upstairs. Alright. Let's give Pat Benatar another coat on his horns. Whoa. Alright. Where's my pure red go? No. really. It just popped out of the holder. No, me either. Ah, crap. And I'm not on screen. Told you we're trying something old school here. Never been able to pull it off. Okay. Great. Somebody's printing again. This time it was my beautiful wife. So what we'll do now is we're going to take the gunmetal that we had and we're going to get a little bit of it out. Come on. There we go. It's a little thick tonight. Let's first put some of this right here at the top. What are you printing out, Jess?
It's all homework, honey.
Oh, her homework? Uh-oh. Printing out the homework. Say goodbye, Jessica.
I'll be back down several more times.
Did you hear? She goes, I'll be back a few more times. This whole school from home crap. Poor kids. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're taking this axe, we're hitting it with this gunmetal. I don't know if y'all listen to Tin Cars Tavern, but he was talking about how now Eric Tin Car runs a Facebook group, but he also works for Frog God Games. It was interesting though. He used to be a cop, and he was talking about the anniversary of Troll Lords, and said if it wasn't for Castles and Crusades, he never would have gotten back into gaming. Back into it. He said they'd been taking a break and it had been a really long time with him and his buds, and they discovered Castles and Crusades. This is during the time of 3rd edition, because if you know a little bit about the history of Castles and Crusades, I believe it was using the open gaming license from Wizards to do basically a D20 style RPG. But yeah, the Siege engine does have a little bit different rules than standard D20. So the Siege engine, like for example, on your level, say you roll an attribute, you add your level to that attribute. So like if your third level, you add a 3 on top of your roll and your modifier. So that helps out. And then, of course, if you're human, you get, 2 primary attributes, which means you roll lower to actually succeed versus the higher number. Those are actually set numbers as well, so they're not like stuff that the GM sets out, which, it's pretty good. Now, I've never thought about them taking flack for that because one of the things that TSR, when people go back and look at the rules, they took flack for in first edition was the concept of subhumans or demi-humans. Of anything that was not a human was considered a demi-human, and their class was actually their race and stuff like that. And a lot of people say, well, that's racist. And my response is, well, you go take it up with elves and see if they are upset about it. Go find some halflings and dwarfs and have that discussion. So, like, it can't be racist if it's a mythological creature. Just saying. Okay. So let's see here. Now we're taking the shining silver or not shining silver, but the plate mail, which is lighter than the gunmetal, and where you're doing the edge of the axe that way, so you can tell the difference between the two metals. It gives it an edge. Okay. We'll do the same thing down here. Where Drew's already used his coupons. He'll probably like send me a message. I don't have Facebook pulled up. He'll be like, what should I get? Well, here's what you get, and here's the address to send it to. Alright, so we got a little bit of this bronze, and we're going to do his little belt buckle, or whatever you want to call it, his wrestling belt, with this. I'm just going to fill it in. I still needed a little bit of that for his nose ring. Because, he is a bull after all. And he's got an earring as well. And we're going to take a little bit of this dark flesh tone. And we're going to do it, guys. We're painting the Minotaur boobs. Better go ahead and shake this up because it's going to be foamy. If y'all have tuned in before, you will know that this is my homemade dip. I use it to dip monsters in. So I gotta shake the sediment up from the bottom. This is a mixture of, gosh, all this homework getting printed out. It's a mixture of ink, water, and some mediums. So it's now all bubbly, so we gotta let that dry out a little bit. Or not dry, but settle. The bubbles settle out. I made a brown, I guess you want to say chestnut, and I also made a black for metallics and vehicles. My daughter is wearing war paint. Can we look at the camera and show everybody your war paint? She's going to war. Nah, our friends came over and swim. She usually puts conditioner on her face and stuff after that. Let's see here. Now, okay, let's go back to Mr. Horns here. Now we're going to take some of this skeleton bone and we're going to start evening out the horns where they look like horrible around the tips. We're still going to have to dry brush them a little bit around the base. Okay. Now, let's see here. Okay. Now, what we're going to do next, while that dries, is we are going to have to get the dry brush out. And we're going to use skeleton bone because that's what we do. And actually, I don't want to use this brush. I'm going to use this fancy one, Citadel. And we're going to use skeleton bone and we're going to dry brush some of his hair. Oh no, it's a 30-minute warning. So this gives this hair a little bit more texture. Okay. So I've been thinking, what color are we going to paint those eyes? And the only color that comes to my mind is they need to be yellow. I would have let Norse Foundry pick, but ever since they got their prize, they disappeared. Just saying. Okay. Put a little bit in the nostrils here, a little bit of this red. Alright. Now, take a little bit more skeleton bone. He's going to get his nails did. His toenails. Has anybody ever actually had a pedicure before in this chat room? I'm just asking. For a friend. Okay, take a little bit more of the copper. Put these bolts in this copper or bronze. Okay. Alright, then we're going to take the dry brush, the hard one. I'm going to take some of this flesh here. And we're going to stipple it on his axe to add some texture. Okay. Come back. This is dried up some, so we can now put another layer on this. Okay. Let's see where I've got screw ups at. Got one right here. Okay. Trying to figure out what color I need real quick in my head. There it is. More red. Is it really already clogged up? I'll tell you what clogs these up, and they're not really clogged, is that when you put ball bearings in them, they end up going into the cap, and you gotta knock them out. That's why I always try. I mean, I have the ball bearings. If I can't find what I normally use, I usually try to get these glass beads that are just as big as the opening to put them in, and you pretty much got to force them in. But that's what I normally try to use if I can find them. Right. Next thing is we gotta let it set for a minute. Let it dry up some. Anyway, so while this dries, before we use the wonderful wash, do y'all have any questions so far tonight? We had a $30 giveaway. Our chat room is probably the most full it's ever been at any given time. I still have some cupcake left. Not much, but it's a bite. We got 25 minutes left. I gotta let this dry so we can do the dip. So, questions, answers. Can anybody answer what is my favorite Citadel color? Outside of Bake, because he should know it. Son. Man, you guys disappoint me. Here's the bad part about using these containers. They seal shut. Okay. So let's look at the dip. We got an awful lot of bubbles. So this is what happened. Oh my gosh. So when we moved, you see this? You know what that is. So when we moved, this got turned over on its side. That's the acrylic binder in there settled out. I can reconstitute it though. I'm thinking about getting some dropper bottles for this. Yeah, it's already liquefied. It's crazy. Can't tell all my secrets though. My Patreon people would get upset. Again, I have a Patreon. If y'all want to support me to buy more supplies so we can have more hobby hacks and things like this, then all you need to do is to get on Patreon, find me, Haunted Holler Painting. And I have 3 levels. I have a $3 level, which gives you access to the our Discord server, so you can talk to us during these live streams. We have a $5 access, which does the exact same thing, plus gives you early access to any recipes, so you can make them along with me at the same time. And we have a $30 access, which means either you get an hour of my time every month for me to sit down with you and help you get better at painting, or you get to take and send me a model. I'll paint it and send it back to you. Small model about this big, no bigger than that. So I don't think we're going to dip today, but we are going to use the brush. You will find the links to the Patreon in there. I also have a Facebook page as well. And you don't have to be a part of my Patreon to learn to paint with me or have fun with me and spend time with me. But just every little thing helps. Okay. Let me blow on this real quick. Alright, let's try it. Let's just dip. Look at the bubbles! Let's knock the bubbles off. Alright. We dipped it. Now we gotta put the lid back on because we really don't want this to spill on my carpet. My wife would kill me. Alright. So. So here's the cool part. Is it's completely covered in this wonderful dirty brown dip. I don't know. I know this is not like really like the strong tone. I know it does dry clear, so we don't have any issues with that. But it's just, I don't know. This color, I just really like this color, especially for monsters. Okay. So now, take that out. Get my paper towel I got hidden over here. Dry the brush out some. So here's a cool trick with paper towels. In these areas that you know you've got too much of something, just tap it with a paper towel. I got dip on me. No. So, do we have any fans of Thundar the Barbarian in here? Nobody's going to answer that one. Okay, so I'm going to kind of wipe a lot of the dip off the axe because it's metallic and kind of gives it that rust look anyway. How am I looking, guys? This is when you lie to me and tell me it's the best thing you've ever seen. Now it will dry. It will dry. Yeah? Yeah, man. Actually, no, it dipped down to here and I had to paint it down. So, but yeah. I wouldn't be dabbing most of this away if it wasn't for all the bubbles. Is TR still in there? Oh man, he's a pretty good guy. I like TR. A lot of my second edition stuff came from TR and first edition. Uh, and my Conan the Barbarian stuff from Modifius. Alright. He's going to dry. I'll try to get some pictures posted of him. I think he looks pretty good. The only thing I probably will end up doing is on his horns. I'll probably go back and hit those with a little bit more of the skeleton bone and with a dry brush, possibly. But yeah, I think he looks pretty good for an old model. This model's probably older than half the people in this chat room. Just kidding. I don't know. Somebody sent me a bag of old models. It has a brother. Literally, same model, different weapon. The mouth is a little bit more open. Oh, and you got the chaos symbol right there on this belt. Let's paint this one now. Let's go back over here to this lady real quick. We got a few minutes. This blue. Okay, so let's see here. Put some of that blue back right there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to take some of my silver. And I'm going to edge right here for her trim on this car. And we're going to come right here. I'm going to assume these dings are missing a little bit of paint. And put some silver trim around this wheel well. Okay, now let's talk about her. What do we want to do with her? There's some hoses I can paint black. That kind of mixed in with that. It's too watery though. Watery. So when in doubt, paint it black. Where is my black? I've lost my black. It'd help if I look back and where it was. Okay. So we are going to paint this hose here black. Okay. Then we've got a wire here. Is it a wire? No, it's not a wire. Let's see here. Hose here. So this looks like power armor that she made. So we've got some bendy here. So we'll pretend it's a gasket. Rubber, black rubber. I think I'm going to put on my trunks and jump in the pool as soon as I get off here. It's dark. It's kind of weird to jump in a pool in the middle of the night. Okay, so we gave her that. Let's put some more on some of her face. do her hair shortly. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna worry about the weapons right now. Let's tidy up some of this here. Okay, now I'm gonna try this rust effect out real quick. So it's the Citadel, not Citadel, but Army Painter Dry Rush. So we're gonna see how it goes. So I'm gonna try stippling it first. So I'm gonna use my smaller brush that we made out of the number 4 brush, I believe. Yeah, the number 4, and we're gonna stipple with that. So it's an orange color right there. So dry that out a little bit. So we're gonna stipple here. We're going to concentrate in certain areas. That's why we're starting out with the small one first. Oh, well, that's a bit too much. Mainly the areas with the dings. I'm going to stipple along the chrome. We're working on building this up is what we're doing. So and stippling is pretty much what you think it is. Just tap, 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 tap. Okay. So we've got some right there. So we're going to concentrate a little bit more right there. Okay. Now with the rest of this, I don't know how I'm going to do this with her. To get the whole body rust colored. I really don't want to do wash. Daddy has an idea. Find out where it is. Ah, I hate when I do that. I'll fix that later. Where you at? When in doubt, we'll use contrast medium. Yeah. Just need something to put it in. So, a little bit of official contrast medium. Okay, get the brush out. Dab it there. We'll make a pool of this stuff. We'll get a little bit of Z Dry Rust paint. Drop it in there. Mix it together. And use my favorite word, we slather it on. Let's give it that hue look. Just that look, it's got rust on it. whether it's from other rusty things flaking off and getting on it, or whether it itself is rusting up. And what we can do is go back and stipple on some of the big flatter panels once it dries. I've never used a contrast on top of an army painter paint before. We're going to figure out what it does. See how well it works. And what the hey, I know we stippled it on, but we're going to just give us a layer of it over here on top of this. And we're going to see how that turns out. Probably have to wait for it to dry, though. It's the only thing. But that puts us at 9:53, folks. It's evening time here in my small town. And it's time for me to start winding down. Everything else is drying. Let's look at our Minotaur real quick before we go. How's he look? Fearsome. Would you like to run across this thing in a day maze? You better. You better run. You better run right now. See, now listen, this type of banter, people, back and forth, could be yours for a mere fee of $3 a month on our wonderful Patreon. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Stay safe and stay funny. And did I just kick a plug out and make it go dark again? Yes, I did. Get in there. What in the world did I just do? Why did it go off? That's weird. Anyway. But anyway, y'all have a great night. See you on Friday at Norse Foundry's Twitch channel. Bye.